aunt. So she is also a real estate broker.
Wow.
She probably matriarch of the family. She's the oldest sister, one of five.
Okay.
My mom's in the middle, and she's at the top. And she came to this country basically on her own.
Wow.
And started, over and brought my my mom and her sister, my other aunts over to this country. So she started from nothing, and then she's just built up her wealth incredibly, and she owns multifamily and all of that. So she's just been an inspiration to me, and really just like the rock. She's like the rock of the family, and so I can go to her for advice, and it's been really great.
You're so fortunate to have somebody like that in your life.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit about what mental real estate is and what we want to share with people. My question to you is, what did your parents teach you about money and real estate and why it was important? Or did they not?
Oh, they actually did. So, yeah. So my parents are really believe in savings. So I think that's really important, is especially like for first-time home buyers, to save money up front, and then you can buy real estate. So if you're thinking about, I want to put aside a little bit every month for a down payment, then that will build your wealth over time, because you can invest in property. So and that's what they did, is they decided to invest in properties. So we have several investment properties in the US, and they were able to do that a professor's salary.
Wow.
So my dad was a really big saver, and he wanted for us to do really well in school. My brother and I, we both went to really top-notch schools. I went to Stanford undergrad.
Yeah. And where did you?
Went to Johns Hopkins.
Okay. Were you going to be a doctor?
I was going to be a doctor. Couldn't deal with the blood and all that stuff. So I really was more interested in the business side. And so I got into the business side and got a degree in healthcare finance and management.
Okay.
In Johns Hopkins. So.
And you didn't want to pursue it? Like
no, I did. I did for 5 years, and then I got burnt out. Ended up working for an HMO, hated it, and said, you know what? I just kind of fell into real estate. I ended up working for a contractor, and
wow.
I learned kind of the building blocks of real estate, and then got my license in New York.
And
so
then
that's how I started.
And then you were like, this is it for me. I love real estate.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Various degrees of the type of clients that you work with, right? Some are very wealthy, some are first-time home buyers. From the wealthiest clients that you have, what are some things that you have learned from them on what they're doing and how they make decisions that you're applying to your life, or helping, the other clients who are beginning their wealth building journey?
Yeah. So I would say the wealthier clients, they usually have a financial advisor, and that's what I've done as well. Is I have a financial advisor that helps me with my portfolio, and they also typically have a trust. So I had one lately that they asked me for a trust attorney. So clients, they really want to ensure that their assets are protected. So it's important to set up that trust and will and all of that. So I would definitely mirror that, for anyone who wants to build that wealth.
It's funny that you say that. I tell people that all the time, and then I get the reaction of like, well, I don't have that much money to have in a trust, or I only have this one house, or I'm just buying my first house. Like, do we need a trust? What would you say to them?
I think it's never too early, and you can wait. You don't have to do it right away, but at least you can maybe build up the knowledge base and kind of get an understanding of what is it that you want for your future. And maybe if you're acquiring properties later, then you can put them in the trust and establish a trust. But at least now you're going in and you're getting that education, so you know what to expect. So the more educated you are, the better.
What advice would you give a first-time home buyer who feels like, it's too hard for me to buy right now? Interest rates are too high. I should have bought back in the day. Should I just give up and be a forever renter? What advice would you have for them?
I think develop a plan. So I think it's really important for a first-time home buyer that rather just give up and say, okay, I'm going to be renting forever. Like, okay, this might take a few years, but eventually I'll get there, and I'll have a plan of what I want to save. And then there's some really great programs also for first-time homebuyers. So it's important for them to talk to a lender and again, get educated about what they can do. And there's also gift money if they have, a relative or parents that can help out, then they can get into a home earlier, and they don't have to go into a detached home right away. They can start off with a small condo, and then kind of build up from there. So
just start.
Yeah.
So your
just start. You're not just playing a landlord. It's you have ownership. So, and that's a really good feeling.
Okay, this is an excellent segue. We talked a lot about physical ownership, but what about mental ownership? What have you ever felt like you were leaving scarcity, right? I joke and say it's like a city, right? You're leaving scarcity for the land of abundance and you're making the move. Mm-hmm. Have you ever found yourself in scarcity and that mindset? And then what did you do to make the move?
I think if you're surrounding yourself with people and just, go listening to people that have done it, I think that's really important, is that you're feeding your brain with positive energy and positive, movement forward, then that's what I think will carry you through. And then also like maybe talking to a mentor or a counselor or something like that, that'll kind of pull you out of that, because we can all get like stuck in there. And you really want to kind of unravel what's going on with you, because there's always something underlying, right? So then you can kind of work on yourself and then be able to move forward.
Thank you for all of that. Yes, very well said. It sounds like you're saying there's something underlying, right? When you are moving from scarcity to abundance, maybe something that needs to heal. What is one thing that you had to unlearn or heal from in order to be the person that I see today, the best and highest expression of yourself to this day?
I think I just had to learn the courage. For me was just really learning, okay, I can do this, and not being afraid, because I think fear really shackles people. And I was afraid before of, maybe trying something new, or, I was in a very sheltered environment growing up with my parents, and being from the Asian culture, it's just very, put your head down, study, and make good grades, and go to school. It was like a certain pattern that we had, and I'm a little bit more of a free spirit, and I'd like to be an entrepreneur, and I'd like to take some calculated risks and all of that. So I think that's really propelled me forward, is that I'm not afraid now. So
that's amazing. I reflect back on my own journey. So my mom is Filipino and I'm first generation, and so is my husband, Michael. And I remember telling my mom, I was like, hey, Mom, I got my bachelor's degree. Like, are you entertained, happy? Are you proud? She's like, when are you going to get your master's? It was like no smile, no nothing. And I was like, damn, okay. And
they wanted me to get a PhD, to be the doctor,
right,
so,
like all the things.
Yes.
And you're like, you didn't really have to have like a degree per se, like you can take college courses and that's it. So you came from like all the education and do all the things to be here. Do you feel like life is happening for you and not to you? Do you believe that experience you had to go through was something that was necessary so that you can serve your clients better?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to go through hardships, the ups and downs, just to really, I think, understand how the experience of relating to other people and what their problems are. So that's really important.
Yeah, when you bought your first house, were you scared? Or no, because your parents did it and you...
Yeah, I actually, did it with my parents. So it was a really good experience.
Yeah, I ask you that because somebody who's watching, might have a similar story to yours, and they may be wondering, who did you... So I joke, like, renting is okay, right? When you rent the belief that someone else has in you before you own it, who in your life did you have to rent from, the belief in yourself from, until you owned it?
My aunt. So she is also a real estate broker.
Wow.
Yeah. She lives in Santa Monica.
Okay.
And she's the probably matriarch of the family. She's the oldest. sister, one of 5.
Okay.
My mom's in the middle, and she's at the top. And she came to this country basically on her own.
Wow.
And started, my mom and her sister over to this country. So she started from nothing, and then she's just built up her wealth incredibly, and she owns my family and all of that. So she's just been an inspiration to me, and really just like the rock. She's like the rock of the family, and so I can go to her for advice, and it's been really great.
You're so fortunate to have somebody like that in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
If somebody's listening and they don't have that person, where can they seek one out? Like a mentor, someone that can believe in them?
Yeah, I think somebody at their company, or maybe a manager, or a friend of the family. So just kind of like looking in your network and seeing, who you might be able to confide in and might be able to help you.
For sure. And I just want to thank you that attention and time is currency, right? And so thank you for sharing your time and attention with me. And I can't wait to see what the next 5, 10, 15 years looks like for you in real estate and just in life. I just know that you've done a lot of work on yourself, right? To get here. Like if anyone is at this event, you know that they've done work on themselves. You know that they want to be better people, right?
Absolutely. So yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Anything you want to say that we didn't cover that you feel?
I think just be kind to yourself, and just take the time. Just it doesn't happen overnight. So it's a journey, like anything else in life. So just be patient.
Thank you.